Okay, you guys ready? All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this very important press conference that we're having today to announce the 4th Precinct Annex that will be opening right here behind me in Getty Square. I'm joined with the Police Commissioner, who you'll hear from very, very soon. Obviously, our Councilman, Minority Leader Mike Green. We have Tasha Diaz, Councilman from the 3rd. We have Deanna, representing our Councilman from the 1st District, Shanae Williams. We have Sarah Brody from the downtown bid, Chief Sapienza, Lieutenant Richard Alamo, and others that are here today. Certainly Christopher Canty, who is the Senior Warden from St. John's, who we'll hear from a little while. And Councilman John Rubo is here, who's not the councilman from this specific area, but certainly very much a fixture of this community because he is a business owner. And over the last 9 years, we've seen some remarkable things happening here in downtown Yonkers, where we've really changed the face. We've changed the makeup. We've changed the way people think of our community. This is a vibrant community. So much is happening, and we are doing everything we can in terms of rebuilding this community, but rebuilding it in a way that is inclusive, that has everyone as a part of it, so that when the tide goes up in the bay, all the boats go up with it. We're seeing a remarkable revitalization in the businesses and, of course, in the residential properties. And with those successes comes the opportunity to respond to the growing needs of this emerging community. And we are continually looking for new and innovative ways for our police to respond to our ever-changing city, and that's happening all across the city. And thanks to our friends here at St. John's, we are now able to station officers and more police resources right here in Getty Square. And the opening of this annex to our 4th precinct, which encompasses our downtown, means officers can roll up on crime scenes pretty quickly, and they can address the needs that exist in our community. More rapid response can include additional foot patrol officers, bike officers, sector ESU patrols, and of course the homeless outreach, which is one of the new programs we're working on and enhancing and doing more with. I'd like to ask the police commissioner if he can provide us with a little more details about today, what we're doing here, and how it will affect the community. So with that, I'm very excited to introduce to you our police commissioner, John Mueller.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is a really great day for us in the Yonkers Police Department, and I think the mayor nailed it when he said innovative, because we're always trying to think in policing out of the box about how to find better ways to do things, how to serve our public better, how to be more, like I always say, client-based. Our business is all about our clients. So this is a culmination of partnerships between St. John's Episcopal Church and Mother Vicky, who we initially approached about this idea. This is about a mayor who, you know, when you bring him an idea, ideas are great, but the rubber hits the road when you're actually able to bring things to the point of implementation, which is what we've done here. The mayor is always willing to listen. We understand that this is a growing community, and if you think about it, life is very cyclical, because this Manor House Square, which is right around the corner, was originally the Yonkers Police Headquarters, from which all Yonkers police officers fell out from. And then there was a period of decline when some of the industrial factories went down, and we didn't have a lot of people living here. And then we see this amazing renaissance that's been fueled by the mayor and the city council. And so we figured, you know what, we have to put the cops back on the dots where things are happening. So what this enables us to do is to have the officers work directly out of here. When they're writing reports, they're here, as opposed to up in the 4th precinct. That is going to definitely lower our response times, which is really good. It's also going to conversely increase our commitment to quality of life and raising up quality of life, because we have the officers down here embedded. So conceptually, this was driven by, you know, we have great community members here today too that have been with us from day one, lived here a long time, and really made a commitment to want to be part of the downtown community and the downtown culture. And so between the mayor making it all happen, the community working with us to do it, and Mother Vicky being this great partner, I think this is really a great day of success, and I think you're going to see a lot of good things come out of this annex as far as raising the level of quality of life for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and certainly thank you to the men and women who serve us with honor each and every single day in our department here in the city of Yonkers. I'd like to ask a representative of the city council to come up to say a few words. You know, you can have a lot of success, but you can't have a lot of success if you don't have the city council there by your side, working with you and making available the funding that is absolutely needed for programs like this to happen. It costs money to put an additional annex into a precinct, and it certainly would never have happened if it wasn't for the efforts of our council members. And I'd like to ask Councilwoman Tasha Diaz to come up and say a few words on behalf of the Yonkers City Council.
Good afternoon. I'm proud to be standing here not only as the councilwoman, but also a partner with the police department in the Yonkers Reform Police Committee. This is just one step forward to letting Yonkers know that we are moving forward and we are on the rise. This is just one of the many things that we have had conversations about in the Police Reform Committee. So with all due respect, I want to say thank you to everyone in the community, to the mayor, to the police commissioner Mueller, who I've worked closely with, to make sure that Yonkers is a safe city for all, not just one district, but for every district. So this right here just lets you know that the cries that have been cried out about safety and issues that needed to be addressed, we are addressing them. And this right here shows you that we are on the road to making sure that all the concerns that are brought forth, whether it be to city council, whether it be to the mayor's office, or whether it be to our lovely police department in Yonkers, they will be addressed. And this annex just shows that they will be addressed diligently. This may not be my district, but I do work closely with the 4th Precinct because they service the other side of my district on the north. So this just shows how when all districts, all municipalities, and the community leaders come together as one, how we can move forward and get things done. So with that being said, this is just one step forward to introducing something positive for the new year in Yonkers.
Thank you, Councilwoman Diaz. And I agree with you. Applauds for the new year. Thank God. 2020's gone. So I'd like to ask a representative from St. John's to come up, and again I'd like to say thank you to Mother Vicky. Mother Vicky has been a great partner for us, especially in this community. And you look at this historic church has been here for so long. You know, you look at Yonkers, you look at Westchester, you look at this community from whether you know, Yonkers used to go down as far as Spite and Dival before New York City stole half of it from us. But all that was a constant was St. John's. And so I'd like to ask Christopher Canty to come up. He's the senior warden of St. John's, to come up and say a few words. And on behalf of all of us, I want to say thank you for your partnership, for your leadership too, because it has allowed us to do some really special things here. And I know there are some real great things to come for the future of St. John's. Christopher.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Mother Vicky sends her greetings. She is out of town this week. She will be back on Friday. She was very sorry she couldn't be here for this, but she sent me a message that she's asked me to relay. St. John's Episcopal Church is a pivotal player in the growth and development of Getty Square. We are honored to share our campus with the Yonkers Police Department, who have always shown up when we needed them. At this difficult time in our nation's history, as we struggle with a horrific pandemic as well as civil unrest that has revealed America's systemic racism and political polarization. We applaud Commissioner John Mueller, Lieutenant Richard Alamo, and the Yonkers Police Department for their important work as first responders, whose respect for the diverse people of this great city has helped to keep us all safe. May the Yonkers Police Department's residency in Newell Hall be a blessing to St. John's Church, to the people of Getty Square, and the city of Yonkers. Thank you.
Any questions, Mayor?
I have a question. I always have one, Mayor. It was about two years, more or less, that you also had a press conference where you announced a fifth precinct. Is this what the fifth precinct looks like? And that's another...
This is exactly what the fifth precinct would have encompassed. And when we were trying to do the fifth precinct, remember, under the previous commissioner, it was this specific area. And as it turns out, the commission was able to come up with a way of doing exactly what we wanted to do, but to do it in a more cost-effective way by doing the fourth precinct annex.
Now, in the second part of the question, the people of Yonkers are asking for foot patrol, officers on the ground. Now, this seems like, in a way, accomplish that because they are very close to where things happen. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Ben, our goal has always been to get more foot patrol. One of the things that we've been working on is how can we free up the schedule so that there can be additional foot patrols in Getty Square, Martin Street, Lake Avenue, a couple of the hot spots that we have currently in the city sector. He's been able to make not a permanent home, in other words, it's not a permanent post, but he's been able to take, whenever he has the manpower, he's been able to take those additional men and women officers and station them down here. Our goal is for it to be a permanent post, but as you know, with COVID and the budget being as it is, it's a little difficult to make it a permanent post. But that's our goal. And we are seeing some, how often is that happening? Okay, so very often you'll come down and you actually will see officers walking the post.
Last question for the commissioner, I'm sorry. Now, Commissioner, officers will be based here, not in another precinct and coming down here in the beginning and leaving at the end of the shift. They're going to be posted right here, which means a quick response if they need it. Is that right, sir?
Yes. So one of the things that we like about this is we're very big on bicycle patrols. But one of the challenges with bicycle patrols when you have them deployed from the 4th precinct is the distance. Some of them are in really good shape and they ride back and forth. And I can think of Chris Delacamera, Pio Delacamera, who does that, where he will actually ride up and down to get back to the 4th precinct. Now, when you just think it's just geographics really, right? It's just they turn out here and they're a block away from a post where they need to be. They're right close to the waterfront, things like that. And just to emphasize what the mayor said earlier, we are very big in precision policing, and that's also how we deploy our officers. So, for example, if we see, and again, this is the partnership with our community. When we hear that, maybe there's a lot of behavior on the waterfront that's keeping people up awake at night, loud radios and things like that, we can now deploy officers because we've made savings in other areas down to those locations when it's warm, when it's sunny, when it's crowded. So we're trying to really be very precision about where we put people when we need them. I think it's just common sense. Much more important to have a foot post on the waterfront in June on Friday night at 9 o'clock than it is if it's snowing in January and it's 25 degrees. So we're thinking seasonally, we are thinking regionally, we're thinking quality of life issues and what's driving the numbers, and so we need to put people where they need to be.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
We're gonna go inside and get some photos.
Commissioner.
Yeah. You went inside, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Commissioner, thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely, always.
And as you always say, we are moving the needle in the right direction. But what's the difference between the annex and a precinct?
So you're right about the needle, and sometimes the needle moves a little bit, and sometimes the needle moves a lot. In this case, this is a big move in the right direction, moving the needle, because what we're doing is we're embedding police officers down here. The difference is that as opposed to writing the reports in the 4th precinct, getting dressed there, standing roll call there, they're coming directly here. So what does that mean? Well, let's just compare two different scenarios. In one scenario, the officer makes an arrest down here or takes a report from someone, has to go all the way to the 4th precinct to write the report, and then come all the way back down and put themselves back in service. In this case, we're cutting out all that time in transit between the 4th precinct and here, so they can get in, write their reports, and then get back on patrol as quickly as possible to make sure they're available for any issues. On top of that, what you'll see inside is we have put all the city cameras in there, so even when they're in writing reports, they're actually keeping an eye on what's happening when they're not able to be out there.
Now, Commissioner, for the years that I know you, there is 3 things that I have seen that you're very big at it. Procedures, process, and policing, and perhaps process. If a person from the area wants to come to the annex, is this open to the public?
Unfortunately, it is not open to the public, and the reason for that is that we couldn't afford the insurance if it was a public space as opposed to just a space for employees. That would be another huge needle move in that direction, and who knows what can happen in a couple of years. But for now, what we were able to do what we did in a very cost-efficient way by limiting it to the annex. They're still available, and listen, they're going to be walking in and out of here all day long. Obviously, we want people to engage with our police officers. We want our police officers to engage with our community, or as I call them, our clients. So as much as we can get that interaction going, we will. But for now, the annex, based on our agreement with St. John's Episcopal, is just for the police officers because of the insurance issues.
But reality, you don't need anyone to come down here because the cameras are on 24/7 and you are watching all the blocks surrounding this area, so you can keep an eye on what's going on, correct?
The only benefit that will be increased and improved, one of the concepts of why we did this was because they're going to be closer to where if a call comes in, they're still answering the radio from our communication dispatch center. Our public safety dispatchers give out the information. That didn't change. The only difference is they're right here to receive the call, even if they're writing a report, as opposed to being in the 4th precinct.
Thank you, sir. Am I allowed to go inside?
Why don't you guys go? Yeah.
Thank you. So now we're going to go inside. The commissioner is going to take us in. Thank you, Commissioner.
So this used to be the old Sharon community, and again, having this great arrangement with all the victims, we're able to come in and refurbish it. The mayor did a great job allowing us the funding through the city council. Councilman Diaz here, Councilman Newell, Councilman Green, and this is their space now. And they can be moved around there, which is a good thing. They can be moved.
No.
So we can kind of concentrate on our
Or
hotspot.
like they'll use it or like watch it. But a lot
So
of
just
times
think
it's
about
things
that.
So the remote control from here?
you hear come in, you can
Not controlled from
I check them the next day.
But
just
we
whatever.
can get them positioned in advance. Like let's
Yeah, like
say,
the blue ball.
for example, we have Riverfest. We know where Riverfest occurs, so we would probably position the cameras to take as much as we can there. And a lot of these cameras are PTZ, so they can move them from the communication center. Not from here, but they can move them from the communication center.
Everything going on, he's quarantined for in-laws, and so
Yeah, you should see him around town.
Yeah, he said he stopped by Yonkers a couple of times. To see the guys. His daughter is gonna go home for a while. So he's been kind of like, he's like, it's terrible. He's like, 'cause I don't know, she's a so it was a big work. He's like, I did your guard. It was terrible.
Let's move on.
And then all our computers are networked to the precinct. So whenever you have a full job from another precinct, you can pull it up here, the network, and then you can connect. So there's no need to go to that.
We're very fortunate to have the mayor be able to give us the resources for these things. So many times, you know, there's tons of great ideas, but, you know, putting it and implementing it, you know, we have to have the boss be able to say yes, and our boss said yes in a major way. And then I want to also thank Chris Sapienza, DC Sapienza, Lieutenant Lamo, because when we got the okay, these were the guys that really put this whole thing together in terms of design and ordering and things like that.
Two Marines.
Yes, sir.
Also, we have the truck, the emergency service truck has its own area. As you see, the truck guys were outside, they wanted to come into their office.
So one of the things that the mayor wanted when we started talking about this conceptually was emergency services is stationed at 1106 Yonkers Avenue. They're very specialized, highly trained officers that have lots of equipment, so we need a big area just for them that's dedicated. The mayor's idea about this was having, instead of having them deploy from 1106, now we have this presence here. So again, it's all about response times. It's all about how fast they can get where they need to get. And being here already and then have something happen on Riverdale Avenue and leaving from here compared to leaving from 1106, you see the efficiency that we've really increased just based on where we've opened this.
There's an extra bonus with COVID going on. This is more decentralization, so it brings more officers here and out of the precinct